Ambassador. Ambassador. Velthor of the Harmonious Collective had spent 3 full rotations studying the strange blue and green world called Earth. From his silent observation post, a marvel of stealth technology hidden beyond human detection, he had catalogued everything: their bustling cities, their complex patterns of commerce, their carefully worded diplomatic transmissions. Every single data point seemed to confirm the Collective's initial assessment. Humanity was a species of merchants and negotiators. They were organized, intelligent, and seemingly peaceful. Perhaps, Velthor mused, they were worthy of an associate membership in the Collective's vast trade networks. He prided himself on his thoroughness. This was the 18th civilization he had observed, and he had learned that the devil was always in the details. He'd watched humans share meals, celebrate the miracle of birth, and mourn the finality of their dead. He had witnessed their creativity in art galleries and concert halls, their thirst for knowledge in universities, and their compassion in hospitals. They seemed like a gentle species. Peaceful, certainly, maybe even a little timid, compared to some of the more boisterous species in the galaxy. Ambassador, his assistant Karel announced, her chromatic skin patterns shifting with mild curiosity. We've intercepted another human broadcast. They call it a documentary, a form of historical record-keeping, it seems. Excellent, Velthor replied, settling into his observation chamber. The hard data was one thing, but a species' own narrative of its past offered a window into its soul. Their historical stories will give us incredible insight into their cultural values. Put it on the main screen. Karel, cue the transmission. The title appeared in an angular human script. Stark and imposing. The world at war. A complete history. What followed over the next few hours shattered every single assumption the Collective had so carefully constructed about humanity. The documentary began innocently enough. There was grainy, black and white footage of human leaders making grand declarations, of crowds gathering in public squares, waving flags and cheering. It looked like any other species' nationalistic displays. Then, the images shifted. Velthor's sensory stalks recoiled involuntarily. His mind struggled to process the scenes of systematic, industrialized destruction that humans had inflicted upon themselves. Entire cities, once vibrant and teeming with life, were reduced to nothing but rubble and ash. The scale of the death toll was staggering. Millions. Tens of millions. They had developed technologies with the sole purpose of killing, refining them with a terrible, terrifying efficiency across generations. Pause, he commanded, his voice a choked whisper. Karel complied immediately, freezing the image on the screen. It was a ghastly, beautiful mushroom cloud, blooming like a malevolent flower over a human city. They deployed atomic fission weapons, Velthor said, his voice trembling with a mix of awe and horror, against their own species. Against themselves. He couldn't look away. This wasn't a skirmish. This was total war. But the documentary, once resumed, continued its relentless, brutal narrative. It showed humans fighting in nightmarish trenches filled with choking poison gas. It showed them building colossal factories dedicated entirely to the mass production of death. They had developed strategies, tactics, entire philosophies, and sciences centered on the art of warfare. And this, the documentary explained, was merely one conflict, one single war among hundreds, if not thousands, documented in their archives, each with its own unique brand of horror. Karel's colored patterns flickered with deep, primal unease. Ambassador, she said, her voice strained. Our records show this civilization's industrial age is less than 200 cycles old. Tech Collective's protocols state that most species require at least 5,000 cycles to develop beyond primitive tribal warfare. Velthor, shaken, pulled up humanity's current military database's information they had previously dismissed as ceremonial, a relic of a bygone era. The numbers, once abstract, now took on a horrifying new meaning. He saw nuclear arsenals capable of rendering their planet completely uninhabitable. Not who's don't say, but several times over. He saw ongoing weapons research that continued even in their supposed peacetime, pushing the boundaries of destruction. The military expenditures, just for one of their major nations. dwarfed the collective's entire defensive budget for the whole quadrant. "We have made a catastrophic error in judgment," Velthor said, his voice low and grave. He initiated an emergency, top-priority transmission to the collective's High Council. Humanity's diplomatic demeanor, their focus on commerce, it is not evidence of a peaceful nature. It is evidence of restraint. He stared at the frozen image of the mushroom cloud one more time. The raw, terrifying power. They possess the capability to annihilate themselves completely, yet they choose not to, day after day. They have refined warfare into an art form, a science, yet they currently engage in peaceful trade and cultural exchange across their entire world. This is not a species that has simply evolved beyond violence. This is a species that has mastered it so completely, they can choose, like a god, when to unleash it. Kalarel, sensing the shift in the ambassador's understanding, manipulated the holographic controls, displaying humanity's projected space program time. Their expansion models suggest they will achieve reliable interstellar capability within 10 cycles. Ambassador, perhaps 15 at the most. The implication hung heavy and silent in the observation chamber. The collective had been preparing to offer humanity a junior partnership, a place at the table of galactic commerce, assuming they would require centuries of patient guidance. Now, Velthor understood the profound, terrifying truth. Humanity didn't need guidance. They didn't need a helping hand. They needed to be approached as equals. Or perhaps, he thought with a shiver, handled with the most extreme diplomatic care imaginable, as one would handle an unpinned singularity grenade. "Revise our first contact protocols immediately," Velthor ordered, his voice sharp with new urgency. "All of them. When we reveal ourselves to humanity, we will do so with maximum respect and complete transparency. No assumptions of superiority. We will go to them as supplicants, not as mentors. And if they prove hostile, Ambassador." Karalaster, her form radiating anxiety. Velthor gestured at the documentary, which had silently resumed playing on the displays, now showing images of even more modern, more precise, and more devastating weaponry. "Then we pray to the silent void that we never discover what horrors as species this creative, this resilient, can devise when truly threatened. The humans fight wars we cannot even imagine. They survive conflicts that would extinguish most civilizations, and somehow, impossibly, they emerge stronger." He looked at Carol, the gravity of his realization settling upon him like a physical weight. "We are not meeting children taking their first clumsy steps into the cosmos, Karila. We are about to meet survivors. Survivors who have already walked through fire and stared into the abyss. And the abyss, it seems, blinked first." The observation post adjusted its orbit slightly, a silent, invisible sentinel in the darkness. The watchers continued their vigil, but now they watched with very, very different eyes. The traders, the artists, the diplomats they had observed for so long were still there, but hidden just beneath that calm surface was a capacity for conflict that could shake the galaxy to its very foundations. And the galaxy had no idea what was coming.